Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the U Chicago Center in Delhi. So, yeah, it's a privilege to have Andy and all of you. What makes a climate story really compelling? Something that not just informs, but also influences policy.
We needed to tell more stories with people in it. And we kind of got that. You kind of get that, right? And so sort of taking the science, certainly taking the economics of it, and then putting a human face on it. But if you can't figure out a way that it matters to you first, there's no way it's going to be, you're not going to be able to articulate that to someone.
Because I wanted to ask you about the importance of emotional engagement in climate storytelling, especially when we are communicating about, say, hardcore empirical research. How do you strike that balance when you need to move beyond facts and include feelings in a way that you are humanizing the story?
We needed three voices in basically every story. And so it was like, how is this person getting me to this person, getting me to this person? And then what is the kicker? And what do I want the audience to leave with in your pitch, in your research paper, in whatever you're publishing? That one little, that's such a win. Just that one, oh, I didn't know that. Like that is the win, right? Like that's the goal for sure.
And Andy, since you talk about contextualization, you mentioned about this question that you once had about oil imports during the Ukraine crisis.
Yeah.
One simple question turned into a big story.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about how individual curiosity
can
become an issue of collective relevance?
The headline was this is why we still import Russian oil. It just answered one really, really easy question. We put the question in the headline. And then it was just like, okay, this is why we do it. It was a very sort of like, I loved it because it was a very simple, very, very simple story. But it had so many tentacles because it was like, okay, now we're talking about geopolitics, right? Now we're talking about this weird infrastructure in Texas that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What's going on here?
At U Chicago's Climate Institute, we have a lot of data-led tools which primarily are positioned to do this kind of talking to citizens and policymakers.
Yeah.
So we have a tool called Air Quality Life Index, which kind of talks about impact of air quality on life expectancy. And we have a tool that kind of translates impact of climate change on mortality. As a communicator, how do you see the role of such data-led tools in strengthening the climate narrative?
Yeah, I think the way to sort of, I was asking you about how easy is it to embed those, right? Like if I can use that data and I can use that on a website or I can use that in my story, absolutely. We're just trying to get more people involved and let more people know that this stuff is out there. That's a really, really easy thing to say to a reporter. And I don't think we're just going to dismiss it because it sounds like a pitch. This is real, and it affects real people's lives. And again, going back to that first question, these are real people. These are humans that are going to benefit from this knowledge and this data. And so, absolutely underscoring that is incredibly important.